Hello, in this video I'm going to walk through the 365 Pro Toolkit version 2. This is a major upgrade from version 1. So version 2 is now a web-based app. It's still self-hosted. You install it on your computers. All of the data stays on your computers. We do not collect or store any of your data. But with the web-based, that means you can install it on a server, computer, and then you could access it anywhere from your network. You could have one install for all of your admins, help desk staff that want to use the application. So let me walk through some of the features of version 2. So now there's multiple dashboards. Some of the dashboards, these cards are interactive. So I could click on licenses here and it shows me all the licensed users. So there's an overview dashboard, logon summary, and some options here so you can filter down to success and failed logons or a specific time period. There's a licensing dashboard that breaks down your licenses, utilization, license distribution, shows you some license cleanup opportunities. And then there's a security dashboard that breaks down some risks and cleanup options, MFA breakdown, stale passwords, tenant enforcement, and some other stuff. So let me jump into some of the tools. You can now manage users, groups, licenses, mailbox, and teams from the application. You can, by default, it's going to show you all your synced and non-synced users. If you want to see just synced cloud-only accounts, just select this filter. So I can select an account, I can double-click it. I've also got some quick actions over here on the right-hand side. If I just double-click the account, it's going to pull up the account. And you see I got the tabs at the top. I can edit any of the areas that have a little pencil, means I can edit that information. So if I click edit, it'll come out with a little slider here and I can update it just like that. And then I can come through groups. I can remove the users to groups. I can modify license information. I can pull up any MFA information on the account. It'll pull up some of the mailbox information. See, this account doesn't have a mailbox, but let me pull up an account that has a mailbox. And now I can view mailbox information, and I can, these buttons here are different mailbox actions you can do on the account. So groups, you can manage groups from here. Pretty self-explanatory. I can open the account, add, remove users, members, owner information, delete accounts, groups, licenses. So this will let me select a license. So I'll pull up my business premium license. It'll show me everybody that's part of this license. I can assign users to licenses, remove them. Mailboxes, pulls up all my mailboxes, and then I can double click the account to pull it up, or there's quick actions and details over here on the right hand side, and my teams. So now moving on to reports. Version 2 has a ton of new reports, and they're all broken out into different categories. So I can just drop this down and see all the user related reports. And all reports are super fast because now they're loading from the database that's local on your machine. And so when you first install it, it'll initially sync all your information down, and then it'll periodically update the information from your 365 tenant. And you can see that here in the sync manager, the sync schedule, how often things sync. And then when you're on a report page, it'll show you when it was last synced. But all reports load super fast. I can customize them by clicking on the columns button here. I can search an account if I want to find a specific account. I need to type that in right. All of the columns have a filter option. So say on all users, I want to find all the ones that have a license. So I could click the little filter icon here, change that equal to yes, click filter. Now it's filtered that report down to all of my users that are licensed. But there's groups, group membership reports, exchange. So there's a bunch of different mailbox related reports, licensing reports, OneDrive. Let's see, a bunch of security reports, MFA reports. So admins with MFA, MFA enabled users, MFA not enabled, some role reports, various SharePoint reports, and some sign-on reports. So that is a kind of rundown of the dashboard tools and reports. So let me jump into settings. So connections, this just shows you your connected tenants. You can add new tenants, remove your existing tenants. Users, so this page will let you configure who has access to the app. So whoever installs the app first and then authorizes it in your tenant, they'll become the owner, and then that owner can add additional people to the application. So you just search for whoever you want to add to the app, and then you can define a role. So currently there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 roles you can add them to. And admin's going to give them full access to the app. Reports will just give them access to reports. So when they're a report only role, tools, dashboard settings, scheduler, all that will not be available to that user with that role. They'll only have access to reports. Same thing with user admin, group admin, and mailbox admin. So if I give somebody just user admin role, they're only going to have access to tools, users. Everything else will not be available to them. So email server, you'll just need to configure this if you want to enable reporting, have scheduled reports emailed to you. Logs, so this will keep track of all changes done in the app. So if you give 5 people access to the app, you can track what they're doing from the log section. Database just gives you some information about the database that the application is running on, and you can schedule automatic backups, SSL, and licensing information, and then the scheduler. So this is where you go create automatic reports that then can be emailed to you. Just give it a name, select the category, select the report, select your frequency, who you want to send that to, and click create. So if you enable multiple tenants, you can then switch them from this right here. If you only have one tenant, this won't be here. But when you enable a second tenant, then you'll have this drop down. So then you can just switch over to the other tenant just like that. If I go to tools, users, or enter reports, now it's all loading from my second tenant. And then if I can just click this button, I'll switch back. And then there is a light and dark mode. So I just click this button to switch into dark mode. And then this shows me the account I'm logged into, the owner, and I can click sign out. So that is an overview of version 2. When you first install it, you'll get a little setting up wizard that walks you through signing in to your tenant, and then it'll go through a wizard of doing the sync, and then you're good to go. Very, very simple and easy to install. Let me know if you run into any problems or have questions. Thanks.